Okay, we're live. One of the things, getting everything ready and clicking on stuff, and the live stream actually happens. So, right, well, let's get the live chat happening as well. I tried to give like a 1 hour notice of this on YouTube, and it just kept saying, "Yeah, problems, problems." So yeah, I think some people normally get that notice if I do it, but won't have got it tonight because YouTube was being a butthead. But this is, I'm sure we'll go on. So hello all, Fury, Tara, and Celtic King. But we're up and running now. So let's be glass half full rather than half empty. Won't dwell too much on things that didn't work, and I'll just go back. We're working now. I just remembered. Maybe I should get it now. I've got some mail to open up and read on this live stream. So give me 1 minute, and I'll go out and just look at the outdoors. All right, got my mail to open a little bit later. All righty, my lovely dame, hello to you. Good evening from my perspective, being at the 8 in the PM. But yes, back on the old live stream. Toby, I did get a letter. I've got it here. I'll read it out a bit later. And I got a package as well, which, if I were to make an educated guess, I'm going to say probably has religious tracts in it. But, you know, hey, I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know for sure. Could be anything. I think it's religious pamphlets and books, but, you know, could be anything. So that's all coming later. The mailbag. Oh, interesting. Extraneous hairs going over. I'm going to keep my beard trim. I try to do it by hand. And I don't know, all these wanky hipster men's hairdressers are around now. Usually you get someone who can shape it for me, and then I'll lose its shape a day later. But yeah. But I'm so unsophisticated with the old beard trim. I literally just go in the mirror with a pair of scissors and go, that looks too long. I'm cutting that. I'm going to cut that. Yeah, as long as I get it. I did let it get, I suppose it got down to about here at one point, and other times it's been shorter. It's been like here. How long shall I talk about my facial hair? I don't know. Do I desire wooden bow ties? No, I'm not a bow tie person, my lovely dame. I do things that might make people accuse me of being a hipster. I do wear like suspenders, braces, when I'm working. I often wear a vest, waistcoat, depending what part of the world you're from. And hey, I've got my kilt now, my utility kilt. I don't know if that counts as hipster. I think that's the sort of thing that could make people say you're a hipster for wearing. Toby, yes, some cult teachings on beards, beard maintenance. That would be good. That would be good. We could have holy scriptures on beards. Oh, Tara, you had a shitty week. Yeah, I only did the one live stream last week. If nothing changes, and it's always possible things will change, I'll be doing a live stream on Thursday night as well, and maybe again on the weekend. Who knows? It's a mystery. We don't know what will happen. Toby, I do still wear my kilt occasionally. I've got an event. It's not for 4 weeks though. White night in Melbourne. I'm gonna wear my kilt out to. Hi, Big Pat. How you doing? And hello, Miss Foxification. Toby, what am I drinking? This is on my own concoction. Don't have a name for it. Maybe I should do it. Call it the Arctic Circle or something. It's peppermint vodka with a white chocolate liqueur. It's separated a bit. You see that thing that looks like a head is the white chocolate liqueur. Hasn't really blended, but you know. This is kind of like a drink, and with lemonade. Like that's not all vodka. You don't need that much vodka. Much lemonade. So this is kind of like a dessert drink. It's like minty ice cream. Doesn't really taste like alcohol. The Tara went to a queer picnic. Wow. And someone said your psychiatrist passed away. And you know, wow, that's complicating in life. Jeez. Hope you get stuff sorted out there. Big Pat, I am well today. Thank you, my friend. How are you? How is everyone? How's life been treating everyone? You know, because we do get knocked around a bit by life from time to time. Miss Foxification, you're absolutely right. The less alcoholic a drink tastes, the more tasty. Oh, I don't know if anyone's seen. There's this premix drink, you know, like a Bacardi Breezer or whatever, that's around in Australia now, and it's not only dangerous because it doesn't really taste like alcohol. It tastes a bit fermented, but it's so cheap as well. It's called Little Fat Lamb, and they have all these fruity flavors. It must be like some vodka or gin base, basically some white spirit base. But it's comparatively high alcohol, and a lot of bottle shops sell like a 1.25 litre bottle for as little as like $6 or $7. It can cost up to $10 depending where you get it. But the this bottle that you pay like $7-8 for has more than 7 standard drinks in it. It's quite terrifying. It's obviously aimed at teenagers, and it seems quite dangerous to me. Hey, Batman Sport, how's it going? I've actually got some of it in the fridge because I was going to go to a party and use it as a base for punch, and then I never went to that party, and so it's still sitting in my fridge because I don't really want to drink it. So yeah, it's pretty dodgy. But yeah, I'm more into making cocktails. Mrs. Angry got me a cocktail book for Christmas. I may have mentioned that before, but it's fun. We just leaf through it and go, hey, that sounds interesting. And I try and make it because I don't have a huge amount of different beverages and whatnot. So I substitute a lot of things, like when they say an ingredient that I don't have, I look it up and say, hey, what does that taste like? What could you substitute it for? Like there are a lot of wine-based drinks that are often in cocktails, and I substitute cider for those, just for instance, and I make up my own spirits somehow. But it's fun, particularly last weekend. I was really getting into making the cocktails and leafing through and going, ooh, a South Side, that sounds interesting. I'll try that. Ooh. There was one where they had some themed ones that apparently a quite well-known drink called the 20th Century, and then they had an update called the 21st Century, and then there was even another one which they called the 30th Century Man. Letter T, do I like the tails of the cock? Oh, that is an interesting question, and I'd need to know what that actually is. And hello to you too. Oh, lovely dame. Yeah, wine coolers. Yeah, yeah. That's basically, yeah, wine coolers. Back in the day when I was young, there was one called Passion Pop. It was basically a sparkling white wine that had passion fruit flavour in it. Pretty dodgy and ginger. Oh, and Stone's green ginger wine. See, I don't like ginger beer. I don't like ginger as a flavour. So I've never actually drunk Stone's, but that was like an old rock and roll drink in the 70s and 80s. Stones. Tara, where's Aidsy when we're in the cock talk? He's probably, you know, with the cock somewhere. Knowing him. Ooh, happy birthday to your mum, Pat. 68. Next year, when it's her birthday, you get to go, nice. Don't explain it to her. Just go, nice. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Good to see you. I don't think I'm ever going to get bored with making jokes about the number 69 because I'm not really very mature, quite honestly. So, so yeah, that's the thing I'm going to do. Hey, there's nothing wrong with just having ice water for night. For your dad's birthday, he wanted the same sneakers as you, but there were none. So he has money for his birthday. That's the thing. Dads do for kids. You're doing that for your dad. I'll let it tell you. Thank you for that explanation. Tales of the Cock was a blog you once read. You can't find it anymore. The decency police shut it down. So, oh, good night. Busy? Well, you know, busy is often good. Me, I'm very lazy. I quite enjoy when things are busy. But yeah, sometimes when you're busy and a lot going on, you're too busy to worried about stuff, and that can actually be quite good. So as long as you're busy with stuff that you're enjoying and you know you feel like is worth doing, that's pretty good. Miss Foxification, a perverted Twilight Zone. I actually don't know which comment that is in reaction to. There are that could mean so many things. I really don't know. Yes, Pat, your mum's birthday today, so it's happy birthday to Pat's mum, who at 68 is 1 year short of me going, nice. So, yeah, the only way I could make another silly joke is if her birthday was on the 20th of April. She's actually Hitler's birthday. But anyway. Oh, Tara, you had to crawl under the house. When I had Foxtel connected here, a cable connected a while ago, I had to crawl under the house. And apparently, the ducting, because we've got ducted heating and air conditioning, apparently the ducting under the house for the heating is fairly big, hard metal ducts. And the guy who crawled under the house to drill a hole in the lounge room to connect the cable, he said it was like, it was really quite difficult. There wasn't a lot of room under there. He's crawling in a, so I'm never crawling under my house because it sounds like a really bad deal. Let it tell you, hot, sweaty, and bothered. A perfect time for a hug. Miss Foxification. Okay, Tales of the Cock. Now that you say that, it's obvious. Tales of the Cock is a perverted Twilight Zone. At the time, I couldn't quite work out what you were referencing, but now that you pointed out, it's kind of obvious for sure. Oh, Aussie Bricky. Hey, how are you doing? Yes, I did. I liked the pic you put on Facebook of a Lego minifig that was somewhat reminiscent of me. I liked it a lot. In fact, I didn't just click like. I actually liked it. It's like when you type "lol" and you're not even smiling. That's why if something makes me laugh, I have the compulsion of saying on Facebook or Twitter, like, this literally made me laugh out loud. No, I'm not just typing LOL. I actually laughed out loud. Matt, how are you doing this fine day? And hello, Chris. Oh, everyone's dropping in. The gang's all around. I think it'll be a few more people. Mike, I'm actually with you on the crawling in, crawl spaces, under, over. Worried about spiders and shit. Yeah. No, it's not great. Particularly under. I don't know why I dislike the idea of crawling under a house rather than in the ceiling space, because it's just as likely to be spiders in the ceiling. But yeah, I know crawling around in the dirt is a bit of a worry. Hey James, how are you? All right, Bridget, you want to find a Lego minifig head that has glasses? Some of them do. That's right. Ah, Matt, you're a Supergirl fan. See, I think we've had these. We normally end up having conversations about TV, and movies, and whatnot. But those DC ones, I've never actually really watched. Batman. Oh, the NBN. I'm on the NBN now, and they did just use the cable. I was really upset that someone couldn't guarantee me they weren't going to rip out the cable and give me a fucking copper connection. But they used the cable, and in fact, it's much better than it was. Particularly uploads. The downloads are actually more consistent, but the uploads are literally 10 times better than I had with the Foxtel cable, and yeah, so I'm really happy. Like I like do a long video, that's ends up being a 2 gigabyte file, and it will upload in 5-10 minutes. So, oh, mate, you're watching the crossovers. They seem to be getting super heavy into the crossovers with those DC shows. There's like 6 different shows they're doing crossovers. So I like the 120-year-old house needing a lot of work. That sounds a bit nice. In fact, the guy who crawled under our house found our newspaper. I forget what year it's from. I don't even know if we kept it. But he said, "Oh, this is probably when the house was built. It was like 60 something." He's just like, because this is under the house. It's probably been there since the house was built. He's probably right. Yes, Aussie predict. Yes. If you've been watching me for the whole 10 plus years I've been on YouTube, I didn't have glasses the whole time. I forget when I got glasses, like about 7 years ago or something. And I spent a couple of years. It wasn't really in denial because I never thought I needed glasses. I was going, I don't need glasses. It just never occurred to me. Like when I tried to read a street sign down the road, and I couldn't get it come focus. I was just going, my eyes are watering or something. Why can't I see that? And then I finally decided to have a sight test one day. And holy fuck, it was me. And the first time I wore glasses, it was such a weird change, because everything I only started to realize how blurry the world had been because now it was in super sharp focus and it was doing my head in. Like, they look too hyper real. Like, when you get like a VR thing or something, a computer generated thing where the edges are too sharp and hard and it doesn't look right. That's what it felt like with glasses for the first time. And also the distance to the ground seemed different. And so I was walking funny because I wasn't 100% sure how far away the ground was. That took a day or two to adjust to. And I was like, yeah, I'll take them off. Hi, Joe Will, how are you? So, okay, I could see, if I flex, I can see the names. I can read the comments, like it's this far away from my head. And I can still read the comments, but if there was something on the other side of the room, like I can see boxes of tea bags over there. There's no way I could read them, but if I go, oh, that's the brand called Narada, and that's a Twinings detox tea, and I had no way of seeing that with the glasses off. Joe, your eyesight is changing day to day. I have a funny suspicion, and I'm not a doctor, so you don't really want to pay much attention to me. I have a suspicion that's not just a physiological thing. That sounds like a stress-related thing. Anyway, Matt, I mean, I can look. I can wear no glasses fine, but it's just like stuff's blurry. So if I want to be able to see something, I have to put the glasses back on. But I mean, you know, I don't know that I get eye strain from not wearing they, but it's not that bad. Wait, see through my eyes. If I if I put my glasses up there, I don't know how much that changed it. Right. It does. Look, it changes a fair bit. It's my glasses. No glasses. Glasses. No glasses. That's my glasses. James, would I consider contact lenses? I'd consider it. It just seems too much hassle. I've never put contact lenses in, not cosmetic ones or anything. So I think I'd have to get over that for a while. Contact lenses seem like more hassle. So I mean, I definitely consider them, but I don't mind glasses. So. Aussie Christian, is it a bad thing to look better glasses? No, because that means my glasses are good. Hey, Jatma, how are you doing? So, hey, Toby, are you still here? I've got your letter here. Let's see what's happening. So I've got some mail. I've got a letter from Toby, which I suspect is more edicts for the angry cult for consideration. And this parcel from someone calling themselves Celinda or Kalinda. I don't know. Celinda. Someone from Nowra, anyway. So I'll hang on to that. I'll open that later. But yeah, James, is the thing. The old touching the eyes thing, that would take quite a bit of getting used to for me. Yeah, the idea of it freaks me out a little bit. I'm sure, like everything, you get used to it. But you know, of course, the other thing is, you know, you can get the bloody laser eye surgery, which apparently works a treat. Freaks me out a little bit, the idea of someone firing lasers into my eyes. Yes, I noticed we're all having a talk about, well, what's wrong? Is it diabetes? Is it your blood sugar level? I agree, Miss Foxification. A doctor is the person to talk to. Not that pharmacists are useless. Pharmacists can help with some advice. But if you're getting tests and stuff, I'm thinking doctor. Yeah. Toby, have I ever worn a sarong? I don't think so. I think it's possible. I just don't specifically remember it. But maybe. Matt, angry about the partnership requirements. Look, I think a lot of that is overblown. I don't think YouTube have been handling it very well. Like they've got to do something. They've had to do something because of the big name fuck ups, namely PewDiePie and Logan Paul, or they're just going to lose all their advertisers if they don't do something. But I don't think they're really handling it all that well. Matt, I don't have to worry about it. Look, the only thing that's, as I understand it, been taken away is actual monetization for smaller channels. Like if you're on the partner program, you still have all those extra features. And seriously, if you are under those figures that YouTube was saying, you weren't making any money anyway. So I think it's a bit overblown. But yeah, I certainly don't think YouTube's handling girl. They seem to be reacting rather desperately, and they don't seem very cohesive or whatnot. Yeah. Well, I mean, what's some money? Is like $10 a month? I mean, well, we're talking about Paul Murray. Now, when I said I had Foxtel, I do, but God, this is mainly for the comedy channel for me. When I first got it, all the kids channels for the kids. Aussie Brick Chick. No, okay. I'm willing to be corrected, but I'm sure I saw an update from YouTube that categorically said you do not lose end cards. You do not lose the external links. They weren't clear on that at all at the start, but about a week later, they clarified that the end cards and stuff were there for people still. They were only losing monetization. You have to be careful because there's a lot of misinformation going around, and always has been. I've been in YouTube for a long time, and I have seen people lose their mind. It happens about every year, every 18 months, 2 years at the most. People lose, oh no, you've done this and killed, and blah, 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 blah. And none of these nightmare scenarios have ever come to pass. So I tend to be a little bit more reserved with how I evaluate what YouTube is doing, simply because I've seen people panic. I've seen people spread stories that simply aren't true. And then, you know, the next year, same shit happens all over again. So Tara, I get the conscientious objection to Foxtel being owned by Murdoch, but you know, I'm just lazy on that front. RC, you're the one who watches Sky News. I swear to God, more people watch my YouTube channel than watch Sky News. Sky News has the worst ratings ever. Metal Maniac, Matt, I've almost finished my peppermint vodka and white chocolate liqueur. It's a very desserty sort of drink. Oh my God, Tara, media companies talking about they lose money when their stories get linked to. It blows my mind that they don't know that actually boosts their traffic. Matt, I think if you stuck notes at a bus stop, more people would see that than see Sky News. Sky News is terrible. Oh yeah, it is a nice drink, my lovely day. Oh, Matt, was that the cocktail that I was holding? Because it was pretty good. I was just in the city waiting for an event, and it was stinking hot, and I needed to get, like, it was like 40 degrees, and I needed to get out of the heat. So I found somewhere that would serve me a drink and was air conditioned, and I found a pretty good place. So I was pretty happy with that. Joe, you'll be back a bit later. So, Pat, I'm not really in a position to look on Facebook. I will look. I'll try. There's my Facebook. Oh, fuck you, laptop. Fuck you. Fuck you, laptop. I'm not seeing anything, but that's okay. All right, back to the share. Right, so Yeah, musical aviator. The literal. If there were 3 billboards outside a tiny town in Missouri, more people would see those than see Sky News. Sky News really does not have a lot of viewers, and I think that's why they do the extreme shit, because they're trying to get notoriety. They're trying to generate views with controversy. They go, oh, Fox News was so successful in the US. If we spouted brain dead shit like Fox News, maybe people would pay attention to us. No, you're a pack of fucking idiots. Nobody is paying attention to you, Fox News. Oh, but by the by, having used 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri as a reference, if you know what that is, that's a film. It just opened in Australia. I think it opened in other parts of the world much earlier, but it is a film with Frances McDormand in the lead, and it's fucking great. Like I saw that my last date night with Mrs. Angry, not this last weekend, the weekend before. Or was it just this last weekend? I don't even remember now. But it is good. It's a very good movie. You should see it because it's not as simple as you might initially suspect it could be. But yeah, it's a great film. Definitely worth seeing. Okay. So, films. Hey, what other films are there? I'm thinking of next time I go out to the movies, seeing The Shape of Water. That looks good. What has anyone seen that's good? Uh, Shape of Water looks good. The Winston Churchill one with Gary Oldman playing Winston Churchill, Darkest Hour, is getting super hyped. I don't know if that's any good, but it has a lot of hype behind it. So that'll be interesting. There looks like there's a couple of good Australian films coming out as well. Hey, Tendai, how's it going? So I, do occasionally like to support the Australian film industry. But, look, I think I've had a half an hour to warm up. Toby, do I go to the movies often? I'm going to read your letter now, Toby. Um, uh, Almost every second week, like every second Saturday, Mrs. Angry and I have a date night. We go out. Often it's like dinner and a movie. It's not always what it is. Particularly like some places where we can get good cocktails either before or after the movie. That's my idea of a good night out. Movie, dinner, cocktails, definitely. So I tend to go to the movies at least once or twice a month. And then, of course, I watch stuff like on either Netflix or Foxtel or something like that, DVDs, Blu-rays, that sort of shenanigans. So I watch movies that have been out for slightly longer as well. But I see new movies at least once or twice a month. Suppose it's not that often, but it's not bad if you go every second week. But anyway, hey, look, I've got some stuff from Toby. Proposals for the Angry Cult, which you've got to love that. We're going to start a cult, take over the world, and we're going to purge the unworthy. Okay, so Toby has a proposal here for the Angry Baptism. We go, Angry Baptism is a holy ritual which shows Lord Angry and his saviour Aidsy that you're willing to follow the Angry Cult to the end of time, even if there is no end of time. The baptism must be performed correctly, otherwise it will not be considered valid as a ritual. Baptism has to be performed by an ordained minister of the Angry Cult. First minister will have been ordained and baptised by Lord Aidsy. Lord Aidsy has been baptised by Lord Angry. That means all baptisms in the Angry Cult can be traced back to Lord Angry. Nothing must vary from the rites of baptism. I'm just going to throw it out there. When you talk about me baptising Aidsy, to me, that brings an image of just holding his head underwater for quite a while. But when I think of Aidsy baptizing other people, well, that just gets questionable. That gets questionable really quickly. And I love the idea of it getting questionable with Aidsy. Anyway, baptism must be performed this way. Swimming pool, lake, bathtub, or another body of water deep enough to submerge the person must be found to perform the baptism in. Nothing deep enough to be found, baptism must wait until a place can be found. I like it. We're doing full immersion baptism. That's good. The person must wear a red or white shirt with "Shut the fuck up" or the abbreviated STFU written in black on the front and back of it. They must wear a utility kilt of their choice. I like that. In the pockets of the kilt, they must have blood red bath bombs, which represent the anger of Lord Angry, and black to represent the mercy of Lord and Saviour Aidsy for suffering all the shit he had so we can be saved. Dude, oh, this is great. This is great. I am loving this. When the font, whether it's specially built, natural body of water, or even a bathtub is ready, the angry minister will enter into the water and call the person into the water. The angry minister will then ask the person if the person is angered by stupidity and if they are willing to conform to the image of our Lord and Saviour Aidsy and our Lord Angry. If they agree to do the minimum to conform to the will and image of our Lords, they will enter the water. They will go deep enough to bring the pockets of their kilts down to the water. They will then place bath bombs in their pockets. The angry minister will tell his assistants to go to the post box, post the angry prayer to our Lords Angry and Aidsy, to send them an email to them, as they can't read minds, so they need something more practical like letters and emails. The person will then be baptized by full immersion to cleanse them of their stupidity and fuckwittery that goes against the Angry Gospels. The person will dry off, send Angry and Aidsy, Lords and Gods, a letter and an email about how grateful they are to be part of the Angry cult and how they feel lucky to be with other Angry cult members. Our Lords Angry and Aidsy will always feel a great sense of joy when they hear that someone's been brought into the Angry family to be cleansed of their stupidity and dumb fuckery by the grace and mercy of our Lords Angry and Aidsy. We all thank our Lords for everything good we have. Well, that's just solid religious doctrine right there. That's very well done, Toby. I like that. That is a foundation we can build a cult on. That is really pretty good. Now we have a bit of extra information here. Toby's proposal for angry ministers. In the angry cult, the minister's role is to make sure all the angry ordinances are performed correctly and to make sure that all local members of the angry cult are in line with angry teachings, that members of the angry scriptures, and call for investigation of members who may have violated angry law and need to be expelled from the angry cult. All praise be to Angry, Aidsy, and the angry cult. The life of an angry minister is not very exciting and must be completely dedicated to fulfilling his role in the angry cult. Since they are the local congregation's leader, seer, and local contact for interested people, the angry minister must find a way to be able to always be available to perform ordinances, perform all other portions of his as an angry minister. Being an angry minister is one of the biggest deals in a person's life and is the most important thing with a local congregation. All praise be to Angry and allowing such an angry organisation to exist and to allow us to know our Saviour Aidsy. All praise be to Aidsy as well for his role in giving us salvation through his suffering and his awesomeness. May we all be like AngryAussie and his Saviour, Lord Aidsy. Now, speaking of, deliverance through suffering, which is a very Catholic thing, Aidsy definitely has that. Definitely is able to provide deliverance through suffering. His immense suffering in his life, in fact. Tara, yeah, do it in a local pool. That would work. And Tendai, I agree. A choir would be good. An angry choir is a fine idea. Is it? Have you ever seen these parcel post bags? They're good and tough and a little bit difficult to open. I want to see what's in this one. Probably should have had scissors on it. There we go. There. Ooh, there is a lot. There's a highlighter in here for some reason. Okay, I'm kind of fascinated at what might be in, but I'm out of room. I think there's a lot in here in this package. I think I need to brace myself with another drink. The only question is, what I think I know what I'm going to make now. Okay, I need to go and get some ice. Mix myself the drinky poos. We'll just go over here. Grab some ice. All right. Oh yeah, here. That's gin. That's chili infused, rock candy chili infused gin. So I'm gonna have some of that. Oh. All right. Oh, so that's chili gin with a bit of tropical juice. It's a bit of a tropical drink, really. Yeah. That's pretty good. I hadn't actually tasted chili gin since I made it, so. Ooh, Toby, an angry compound. That sounds good. Hi, Sharon. I am well, thank you. How are you? Just opening some mail. Some fascinating. Ooh, there is so much. There is weird stuff in here. Watchtower. Gotta love a watchtower. Weird stuff from the Fred Hollows Foundation. That's a weird little treat to have in there as well. All right, and some napkins, and I'm really not sure what that's about. Watchtower. Help protect my coral sea home. This is just a wonderful smorgasbord of things in this mail. Notepad from the Fred Hollows Foundation, a watchtower, that postcard. Ooh, another Bible for my collection. Whose version of the Bible is this? Let us check. It's a Gideon. It's a Gideon's Bible. I just wonder if this was stolen from a hotel room. A Gideon Bible. Yes. A contacts card for a Gideon. That'll come in handy. A Coles docket. Good. Something from the UN. I swear this is the weirdest shit I've ever been sent. Hey, Emperor, how's it going? Oh. A UN report on the Democratic Republic of Congo. That'd be for some fun reading. That used to have stamps on it. It doesn't. Some more dockets, which is just fabulous. Oh, this is going to be a good read. Nowra and Shoalhaven News. We're going to have to catch up on what's in here. Philadelphia Trumpet. I don't know what that is. I need to find out who this is. James, you've been reading David Bentley Hart's New Translation, New Testament. Okay. The big story is the political quake that's shaking Germany and all of Europe. Who puts this one out? The Key of David. He has a TV show. TheTrumpet.com. It's interesting. It leads with the editor's letter. The Las Vegas Massacre. Problem, cause, and solution. Ooh. Is God answering America's prayers? Look at this. This is what freaks me out. People who act as if Trump is a Christian. Okay? I'm not a Christian, but for God's sake, if you call Trump a Christian, you're lucky your beliefs aren't true because you'd go straight to hell. I've got to work out who this is. Get closer to God. Who are these people? Yeah, I can't work out who they are. The Philadelphia Trumpet. I don't know who they are. Well, that's an interesting one. I think the Now News is going to be, another edition of the Philadelphia Trumpet. You got to King Me, The Rise of Strongmen heralds a dangerous new era. Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Now, what's this? A printout. Good God. No. Okay. This is something where someone sends me a big printout like this. I expect them to be the sort of person with one of those wall charts with the red string linking all these things. The first thing is the Columbine legacy. Rampage shootings as political acts. Wow. Okay. There's some super weird and interesting stuff in here. I mean, seriously, I'm just flicking through here and randomly in these printouts, there's a story with the headline "Go on Ape." Groovin' Gorilla busts out breakdancing moves while splashing in zoo pool. Thomas S. Monson as a young boy. President Thomas L. Monson. Who's he? Is he a Mormon? It's in Utah. That makes me think he's a Mormon. Let me see. I've just got to find this now. Wow. Okay. This is possibly taking a prize for being quite the weirdest collection of stuff that's ever been sent to me. I mean, okay, good old Video Dude, VD, was personally clearly quite mentally unbalanced. But this actual collection of stuff, because it includes supermarket dockets, is probably super. But hey, who wants to know what's been happening in Nowra? Who wants to know what's been happening now? I know I do. Time to stay safe. Yeah, about drownings in the surf. That's important. Oh, this is just before Christmas. December 22. This is just before Christmas. Oh, look at this. They want this doggy to find a home. Who doesn't want to give... Look at that cute doggy. Who doesn't want to give that cute doggy a home? Oh, Toby. There you go. Thomas Monson was a Mormon president until he died this month. Okay, cool. I thought he sounded Mormon. Cancer care does not take a break. No, that's true. If you have cancer, you don't get holidays. Joyce Main. Oh my God, there are no Joyce Mains. I forget Joyce Main stores. We don't have Joyce Main stores in Victoria. I used to live in New South Wales. Curtain set to open. Ooh, the Shoalhaven Eisteddfod. That's going to be a party. The Shoalhaven Eisteddfod is going to be a party. Yeah. Trip of a lifetime. Karen Cunningham and Gabriel Kerr don't use the words "it makes you think how lucky you are" lightly. They came back from a confronting and eye-opening trip to the slums of Kampala, Uganda. That's interesting. Doing volunteer work in Uganda. I wonder if they saw Knuckles while they were there. Ugandan Knuckles seems to be the meme of January. Kevin Logan, how are you, my friend? Sharon, you're about an hour north of Nowra. Okay. I just love local newspapers, the things there. See, there's pictures of a sausage sizzle. Oh, okay. No, that's high school students finishing year 12 having a barbecue breakfast. That's pretty cool. And pictures of people playing golf. I love the local papers always have a picture of a... Here are the Maguire family out for dinner for Jack's 40th. And it's just, wow. Did they find D-Way? See, Emperor, all memes are as annoying as each other. They get annoying very quickly. That is the nature of dank memes. They get annoying very quickly. Now, it seems like the second, I'm not even joking, it seems like the second half of the Nowra News is literally all advertising, classified and the sports at the back. Well, here's a go. What sport makes the news in Nowra? That's what I want to know. Hey, Kevin, getting on well. So, the ride of Tate's life. Oh yeah, that's someone from Nowra going in the Sydney to Hobart race. That's a big deal. Bushido finishes up big year of success. Ooh, there's a judo club in Shoalhaven. There you go. There's someone playing hockey, and someone playing cricket, and someone riding a bike, and someone surfing. So that's all the sport. Local news. It's fascinating. Really? Oh, Toby, you're across from now in Tarara. Okay, cool. Tendai, the best meme is Palpatine going, do it. That's one of those who would win memes I like. It's like, who would win? Years of Jedi training or Emperor Palpatine saying, do it exactly once? But yeah, Dank memes. When did we tip over? It was a couple of years ago when people started referring to Dank memes instead of just memes. It's when I remember they were really strong the last federal election here. It's like badly executed Dank memes, like stuff where the cutting and pasting is deliberately bad and the joke is deliberately bad. Like the Dadaists, early 20th century artists, would have loved Dank memes. Um, the weirdness of it and the anti-meaning of Dank memes, I think, would have really inspired the Dadaists. They would have loved it. And yes, I agree. Punching Nazis is a good meme. The remixes, the dance remixes of Richard Spencer getting punched, and doing it to the rhythm, like New Order's Blue Monday with the punch in the timing of boom, 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 boom. You know, fuck it, definitely. Briori, that was a lefty one. Lady Dada is a good singer. I thought there might have been a letter in this package explaining it, but there isn't. So I don't really know who it was from. Hey, maybe in the spirit of VD, it was the person that I drop kicked from the last live stream. Um, but yeah, this one's a special prize for just being fucking weird for the stuff that was in the package. Napkins, supermarket dockets. Hey, you know what I haven't actually looked at? What does this person buy in the supermarket? Let's check, shall we? Because we don't know what insights we're going to get into their psyche by looking at their supermarket dockets. Okay, that's a mobile recharge. And I love this. All that's on this really long docket is a $130 broadband recharge for Optus and an iced coffee milk. That's it. Broadband and iced coffee milk. Okay, but that's not the only docket I've got. For some reason, I have a whole bunch of shopping dockets from this person. This one's from Australia Post. So I don't know if that's how much it cost them to post that to me. Wait, other dockets. What? I know, this is just so weird that this person sent me dockets. Okay, that's another red kite one. What's this? Cookies and cream oak. So this person's into their flavored milk. So I'm going to say a Mars bar. So this is chocolate milk and a Mars bar. Okay, breakfast of champions. I don't know what we're getting in here. Emperor Seeker, I've had a Quran, I've had a Bible, I've had multiple Bibles, I've had Book of Mormon. The weird thing is these dockets are also faded. They're very hard to read. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Not that I got sent dockets, that I can't read them. Can't read that one either. That's an Optus recharge again. It's person wants me to know they're recharging their Optus. This one I can read. Energy drink, a Mother energy drink, and an Apollo bar. Okay, this person does not have a good diet. It's like chocolate milk, energy drink, Mars bars, like snack bars and dodgy drinks. Satchel. I don't know. Another Australia Post one. Posting stuff. What's this one? Another long one. Another Optus reacher. Oh no, that's the first one. I have no idea what's happening here. The Book of Mormon. Yes, the difference between the actual Book of Mormon and the musical done by the South Park guys. The only good energy drink is Monster. Ew, gross. I don't know, actually. I think I do, yeah. The sugar-free Monster ones I quite like. That's my preferred one, actually. Oh dear. Miss Foxification, I'm with you. I've got the Wolfenstein game and I haven't played it much because I was really bad at it. I have to practice using the bloody PS4 controller for shooting because I was getting it really wrong. But I have, in the intervening time, I finished Grand Theft Auto 5, which was a lot of fun. And I'm almost finished Yakuza 0. I can go into the final battle anytime I want. I'm just faffing about wasting time before I go into the final battle for Yakuza 5. I think Yakuza 5, it's Yakuza 0. It's Grand Theft Auto 5 and Yakuza 0, which I assume is a prequel. I've never played any other Yakuza games. The last time I played a GTA game was San Andreas. So that's GTA 2 or 3? That's GTA 3, isn't it? That's the GTA 3 engine for the PlayStation 2. Toby, did I receive the Islam Australia order I ordered for you? I don't know. How long ago was that? I think some of the stuff you sent me was on Islam. Tendai, the sense of humor in Yakuza 0 is really funny. It's like weird. It's super weird. There's a very campy element to a game that's basically you beating fuck out of people. That's what you do in Yakuza 0. You go around beating fuck out of people. In amongst you beating fuck out of people is really, really surreal, weird humor. Chris, tsunami warning for Northwest US and British Columbia. There's been a quake? There was a quake in Japan. Or off Japan. What's the source of the tsunami warning? Like what's the epicenter of whatever is causing a tsunami warning? It's like scum drink from the white chocolate liqueur. I was working for Lonely Planet when that devastating Asian tsunami hit. And because everyone at Lonely Planet had contacts all through Asia and around the world, we were getting a lot of detail about it. And it was really fucking traumatic. Some of the stories of that Asian tsunami were fucking horrific. Jesus Christ, an 8.0 earthquake just off Alaska? Fuck me. No wonder there's a tsunami warning. Yeah. Incidentally, kids, if you're in a coastal area, the big warning of a tsunami is if the water goes out a long way first. If that ever, I'm not joking, if you are ever on a coastal area and the water goes right out, like way, way out in a really crazy way, get to high ground really fucking fast. As quickly as you can, get to high ground. I saw a doco happened, I think it was relatively early in the 20th century. Took these photos, these people, I think it was in Hawaii, where the ocean went, like this bay basically emptied, and everyone's going, "What's this about?" There's all these photos of an empty bay, and a couple of minutes later, the water sucked out, and then a tsunami came back in and just did devastating damage. And there was one story from Southeast Asia when that big Asian tsunami hit all those years ago. On one beach, that happened. The water sucked out, and a little English girl who's at the beach said, "I think this is a tsunami. We did this at school, and if that happens, that means a tsunami's coming. We need to get away from here really fast." So the family basically alerted everyone on the beach, and they all took off. And it was right, the fucking tsunami came in really soon after. But yeah, the nature be crazy, yo. So I really hope this tsunami warning Chris is talking about turns out to be not too serious, that we hear about it. Okay. So Big Pat, you tagged me in a post. Oh, our 3 years of friendship. Okay. Does that really mean it was 3 years ago we met each other? See, where we go? What's his username on here? It was there a second ago. Can't remember, but I know him as Pat. His real name, Pat, Big Pat. Someone I met at a YouTube meetup, and we're having our 3-year friendship on Facebook, which is awesome, because we're actually met and be friends in real life. Yeah, nature is crazy as a motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Earthquake, Chiniak, Alaska, magnitude 8.0, depth of 20 kilometers. Fuck me. Okay. Okay, well, okay, now that we know that these deep ocean earthquakes can cause tsunamis, I hope people don't get complacent, because the tsunami's not what the most common result, but it's the case that we now know if we see this seismic activity, we need to warn people of the possibility, because by the time you can confirm it, frequently it's too fucking late. When someone can actually visually see the swell, like, oh no, there really is a tsunami heading for that coast, it's way too fucking late. So it's when the seismic activity is detected, the warning has to go out. So I really hope, because most of the time these warnings don't result, like 99% of the time, they don't result in an actual tsunami. But I really hope don't get complacent, because I've heard that. I said there's a tsunami warning, and then there was no tsunami. But it's like, fuck, man, because if they're right, it's really devastating in coastal areas. I mean, Melbourne is on a bay, and I'm honestly not all that far from the bay, but there'd be no conceivable tsunami that would reach where I am. But one could easily come in from the ocean into the bay and hit the bayside suburbs. I'm a suburb or two away from the bay, but coastal areas, because the bay could absorb a lot of a tsunami, but it could still do a lot of damage. But coastal areas would be at much higher risk than people on the actual bay. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. This is really concerning. We're sitting here talking, and we may be just ahead of something really bad. Okay, Chris, 4:55 a.m. Warnings for Washington and Oregon. What is the time in that part of the world right now? What's the time there now? I'm going to try and look in. I have a lot of time zones built into my phone. 30-minute warning. World clock. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I think it's in that time zone. Is it 4:05 now? That would be right. It would be 4. It's 2 a.m. So it's 2 a.m. Okay. So the potential 2-hour warning. Okay. Okay. 2-hour warning. Yeah, 30 minutes in Alaska. Alaska's a different story. But for continental US, got a 2-hour warning. That gives enough time to have some serious indication of if something's going on. I mean, mind you, I'm going to be in bed. I might wake up with some really bad news reports in the morning. That would be different. Hey, speaking of waking up to really bad news reports, the one I will always remember was the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center. Australians who stayed up really late would have seen the reports of that. And I didn't stay up late. I went to bed. And at the time, with my partner, we had a TV in the bedroom and would turn on like news when we got up in the morning. And we got up in the morning, and this was hours, like 6 hours after the attacks on the Trade Center. This was hours after the Trade Centers had come down. And as we watched, they were showing video that had been shot by a doctor who was near Ground Zero, and he was going in to see if he could help people. And he's narrating and he's saying stuff like, I hope I don't die. And the little ticker's going underneath going terrorist attack on World Trade Center. And my girlfriend's going, what the fuck is this? And because it seemed so unreal that I didn't think it was a real thing, I said, it's like some shitty disaster movie. This is a really weird time of day for some shitty disaster movie to be on. It didn't seem real. It simply didn't seem real. Like, it couldn't just be a news report. But then it's like flicking channels and it's on every fucking channel. And it's like, well, this is clearly going to be bad. The repercussions of this are going to be really, really, really fucking bad. But yeah, my initial reaction was, this isn't real. This is so strange. It just isn't real. Mike, you were 10 years old when you saw the tower coming down. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Yeah. Australians saying, I woke up wanting to watch Cheese TV. What? Why weren't my cartoons on that morning? Well, see, Emperor Siga, the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq were the repercussions that I knew was coming. When I saw that, I was like, this is bad. What happens next is going to be really, really, really bad. But yeah, I agree with Fox's classification. Surreal is the best word. As in, I literally didn't believe it was real. It didn't seem real. It's like, no, terrorists can't make two big buildings. Please, God, no one go into conspiracies about being an inside job and it being a detonation, because I'll be so sad if you do that, because that's just dumb. I'm a musical aviator. Your mum wouldn't let you stay up because it's. So that's the thing. It happened about 11 p.m. Australian time, but I'd gone to bed earlier than that. So I didn't see it till the next morning. So by the next morning, the shit had been developing for 8 hours, and man, it was so fucking full on, so surreal. James, you got furious when the first Gulf War disrupted TV. I remember the first Gulf War. That's when CNN first came into its own, because they had people there 24 hours a day. And that was very interesting because George Bush had his Operation Desert Shield happening, and they gave Saddam a deadline, said, do what we say by this date, and they gave him an exact time, or we start bombing. And they literally started bombing a minute after the deadline passed. It's just like, dude, we're not even fucking around. We're not calling you and saying, we told you you're going to do it. You're going to give up. It's like, no, 1 minute past the time, the fucking bombing started. Full on. Scott, everyone's got friends who believe it's an inside job. I know people who are otherwise completely sane who are convinced the September 11th attacks were an inside job. Chris, you hit the nail on the motherfucking head. Saudi Arabia were the source of the fucking problem. Most of the attackers came from Saudi Arabia. Financing came from Saudi Arabia, but you know, oil. So we're friendly to Saudi Arabia. So we attack. Okay, yes, Bin Laden was hiding in Afghanistan at one point, but Iraq were nothing to do, literally nothing to do with it. That was so fucking evil that Iraq was attacked using September 11th attacks as a result. It's like, yeah, makes classification. I would assume anyone who was awake in Australia when it happened would have stayed up all night because it was so fucking weird. It was, and that was it. He was weird. The whole thing was weird. But the one thing, because the way Americans do the date, they refer to 9/11. If it had happened here or like anywhere else in the fucking world apart from America, it would be 11/9, the 11th of the 9th. But because it's America and the way they do the dates that no one else does, it's 9/11. And I tell you what, okay, bad taste joke time perhaps, but how happy do you think the 7-Eleven people are that it didn't happen on July 11th? Because how fucking bad would that be for your brand that you painstakingly built up? 7-Eleven, everyone knows what 7-Eleven. If there was that major attack on July 11th, so 7-Eleven became synonymous with a horrible terrorist attack. It's like, fuck, I reckon, seriously, I reckon the people who own the 7-Eleven brand wake up every day and it just occurs to them, oh, fuck, I'm so fucking glad those attacks happened on 9/11 and not 7-Eleven. Because the pressure to change the name of the chain would have been immense. And we spent so long building up this brand. Everyone knows what 7-Eleven is. And now it's been tainted. Fuck. That would just like suck. Oh, yeah, Music Vetti, you're right. Trump has said 7-Eleven when he meant 9/11. James, look, here's the thing. What a lot of people remember, the simple fact is that group of terrorists attacked the World Trade Center and the Pentagon and probably had other attacks planned. That one plane was somewhere. That is true. The buildings collapsed because they were hit by these planes. There's nothing else. There's no conspiracy about the building collapse. But see, this is what complicates things, because Bush and company did lie multiple times afterwards because they concealed the fact that they hid and protected members of the Bin Laden family and made sure they got safely back to Saudi Arabia before lynch mobs formed, because there were members of the Bin Laden family in the US at the time. They definitely lied about Iraq having any connection whatsoever to the attacks. So when you can cite things that the Bush administration definitely lied, and they definitely covered some shit up, people have this tendency to roll and go, oh, well, the whole thing was a false flag. No, no, no. Those terrorists hijacked the planes, crashed them into the buildings. The impact of the planes and the resultant explosion did enough structural damage. It made the buildings collapse. There's no conspiracy about the hijacking of the terrorist act or the collapse of the buildings and the surrounding buildings. It's complicated by the fact the Bush administration told a fuck ton of lies, because they did. They simply did. And it was to protect the interests of the Saudi royal family that they decided they were aligned with. And it was fucked. And they did lie. But yeah. James is saying, can't believe Fahrenheit 9/11 didn't end Bush's presidency. You look at fucking Trump, the stuff that is just out in the open about Trump and has had no negative effect on his presidency. It's just like, people just go, and it's just like, man, fuck. Oh, Scott, Cheney is a fucking piece of shit. I wonder who's, in fact, in terms of who'd be the most hated by service people who were lied to, and service people who died because Cheney and his cronies were making billions of dollars from their contracting. And this is stuff that doesn't get publicized very much. Okay, you may or may not remember the company Cheney was a director of winning no bid contracts to supply billions of dollars worth of services to the Iraq invasion force. Little things that I think people don't remember. The Halliburton bullshit was so bad, and they were skimming so much money. This is a true thing. Service people were being electrocuted to death in US Army camps built by Halliburton because they were so shoddily built. The wiring was exposed in the toilet blocks. When service people were having showers, the water was getting into the electrical works and electrocuting soldiers in the shower. Like, Halliburton killed soldiers to save a few dollars. And it's fucking creepy as fuck. Oh, Chris, the Russia investigation. Russia investigation is fun. I mean, I don't know where that's going to go and if it will have any real impact. It's just like, I feel like it seems beyond doubt that Trump and his cronies have been involved in massive graft and corruption with the Russians, and it's only a matter of time till it comes out. I don't even know what's going to happen if that comes back. I don't know. Who fucking knows? Oh, James Rumsfeld. That's the name I was trying. I reckon service people probably hate Rumsfeld more than Cheney or Bush. And I can't think, because when people leave government, they get like Secret Service protection for their whole lives. And I can't help thinking that one day a really angry veteran is going to be coming gunning for Rumsfeld, and inexplicably his Secret Service guard detail will be tying their shoelace at the point Rumsfeld gets shot, rather than like throwing themselves in the path of the bullet. They'll be like, what? Was that dude pointing a gun at Rumsfeld? Ah, I didn't realize. Sorry, my bad. I reckon people fucking hate Rumsfeld, quite honestly. Hi, Abigail. How are you doing? Oh, Emperor Cigar. Bush and the Pretzel. I don't know who remembers that. It was after the Super Bowl, right? Bush appeared in public. He had a black eye. And people saying, fuck, the president's mysteriously got a black eye. What the fuck is that about? And he came up with this thing at a Super Bowl party, and he choked on a pretzel and stumbled and hit his face on a table. And it's like, oh, okay, dude. My favorite, there's a comic strip called The Boondocks. There's also an animated version of The Boondocks, which has its moments, which are really fucking funny. They did a Sunday comic one for The Boondocks just after Trump did this story of, oh yeah, the black eyes because I choked on a pretzel and fell over it at a Super Bowl party. Because Bush was notorious that he claimed to be a teetotaler because he's a coke fiend. He's an alcoholic coke fiend. Bush has been arrested for drink driving and drug driving, and it was they were bought off by his dad. But he has actually been arrested for drink driving and drug driving. He was a mad coke fiend. He swore off it. He was born again, became a teetotaler. And this strip from the Boondocks had central protagonist just walking up to a hilltop and just, when he gets to the hilltop, just yelling from the top, "He was drunk, you stupid motherfuckers. There was no pretzel. He was drunk." But Bush couldn't admit to being drunk because his whole story was he's a teetotaler now to try and cover up the fact that he's an alcoholic coke fiend. Sorry, misfoxification. You're saying Cheney's nickname is Pretzel. It was Cheney that choked Bush. Well, that's got to make sense. Toby, AZ, yeah, he's okay. We're working on some stuff. He's writing up some stuff about being an artist, what it means to be an artist and a creator, and the things you do. This is actually some, okay, this is a teaser because we'll be doing some stuff on this later. As you know, working on some stuff, some real sort of like an arts manifesto statement about what it means to be a creator, someone who makes art, like YouTube videos. When you're creating art, when you're doing something to create an effect in an audience, you're creating art. So AD's hard at work on that stuff. Chris, the guy got shot in the face by Cheney, his hunting partner, where they were clearly completely fucking drunk and just firing shotguns randomly, and Cheney shot someone in the face, and they're trying to pretend they weren't fucking drunk when that happened. Dobby, look, I hope it is interesting. There's some pretty full-on stuff, and it's all about our theory of if you are going to create stuff, like whether that be YouTube videos, visual art, music, what you should be trying to do, what should drive you, what should inspire you to do stuff in your art and your creation. So yeah. Well, Emperor, the VP is not going to go. That was the weirdest thing. Do you remember how they tried so hard to make scandals about Obama over fucking nothing? And Trump had these false invasions of Bush had these false invasions of countries. Cheney shot someone in the face. And Trump is just a fucking shit show. But they tried so hard to make dramas about Obama when nothing was happening. Misfoxification, have I thought about doing angry gaming videos? I certainly have. And they would be very angry. I said, I've been playing Yakuza 0 recently. When I'm getting into the fights and the buttons don't do what they're meant to, I'm always just screaming at the screen, fuck you! What the fuck? You should have dodged that. Fuck! Look, Empress here, if you want to say negative stuff about Obama, it's not, okay, I disagree that he lied about closing Guantanamo. He did everything in his power to close Guantanamo, but the Republicans and the media turned it into a fucking shit show and made it impossible. I don't think that was a lie. The drone strikes, the sort of murder campaign through drones, pretty bad. But then again, everyone in the establishment was behind that. And the increase of the surveillance state punishing whistleblowers, that was shit. The Obama administration escalated everything the Bush administration had done with expansion of the surveillance state, punishing whistleblowers. Anyone who embarrassed the government was in big trouble. That was shit. The Obama administration was full on into that shit, which was really bad. But broadly speaking, as a politician, I thought he was pretty good. Yeah, James, maybe he's just better at covering up scandals. Maybe he's just, there's one of two things. He never had any scandals, or he's just better at covering them up. So, letter T, do I watch porn? I'm watching porn right now. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. I could, but I'm not. Oh yeah, Chris, the drone strikes killing American citizens are against the law, and the Obama administration was fucking mad for drone strikes. And there's no, I won't defend that for a second, and I definitely won't defend his expansion of the surveillance state, his punishment of whistleblowers. That shit is bad. Hey, Megaleech, how you doing, buddy? Letter T, nothing wrong with liking porn, my friend. I've got a lot of friends who make porn. I've got a lot of time for people in the sex industry, the sex work industry. But yeah, porn. I'm all for it. Well, you know, ethical porn. Nasty shit. I don't really know. Yeah. Miss Foxification, you're right. Obama was likable. Obama made you feel good. If you like intelligent people, erudite people, Obama's good. If you like fuckwits, Trump's your guy. It's like, seriously, it does my head in watching the people tying themselves in knots to justify Trump. It fucking does my head in. I'll tend to, at this point, there are nothing would surprise me about the NSA. So it's kind of what I try to explain to people. People go, I've got everything's encrypted. I'm off the grid. Dude, we have enough evidence to show you have privacy up until the point the government decides you don't. No matter what you do, if you become person of interest, they will be all fucking over you. Megaleech, ethical porn. That is a word, and it's very popular in Australia, in fact. It's basically porn that tries to be non-exploitative while still being sexy, as in not treating the performers like shit, uh, treating the performers decently, while still being sexy. And there are a few producers in Australia, and one of the more well-known ones, Girls Out West. But yeah, the idea of ethical porn is that you're still making porn and still being sexy. Yeah, I mean, it can be nasty and kinky in your own particular fetish, so long as you're not exploiting the performers. So long as you're not abusing the performers, as long as everything that's done is done with consent. That's the big word, consent. And that's what makes it ethical, consent. Ooh, Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson is so fucking weird. Boris Johnson is like, I swear, if you drug tested Boris Johnson, I reckon you'd find just a cornucopia of drugs in his system. Letter T, Aussie porn stars, people like Angela White or Lucy B. There's a dude, Ryan. What's Ryan's name? I'm trying to remember, but he's been in the media a bit. But yeah, and there's also there's the production house called Girls Out West, Letter T. They're Aussies making stuff. And for a second, see, I'm with you completely. If it's not exploitative, if you're not abusing the performers in porn, I'm 100% for it. So yeah. Tara, the Toowoomba Mayor porn bandwagon. Look, I actually made a video about that ages ago, the first time they started to float it. The mayor of an Australian city, Toowoomba, said, do you want to ban porn? It's just stupid. It's meaningless sloganeering. Chris, I don't know what you're talking about, but I love the sound of it. UKIP guy disowned his 20 years younger girlfriend for being super racist. I have not heard that story, but it sounds super funny. And if you're ever able to send me a link for it, I'd be really happy for it. Misfoxification, nail on the head, informed consent. Not manipulation, not coercion, not backing someone into a corner, not no is just a negotiation. It's, yeah. Yeah, that's the reason. Why is UKIP even around? They've ceased to be of any electoral relevance. They had that one brief moment. Chris, you've hit it. The reason UKIP is still around is for us to laugh at them. And you are kind of special if UKIP kick you out for being too racist. That is what we call an accomplishment. Good Lord. Dr. Poppagon. Boris reason is why the Masons are there. Oh man, the Tories in England have so many fucking secret stories. Like that story that came out about the former PM and the initiation ritual that involved sticking your dick into a dead pig's mouth. Like they had a spit roast pig, and at the big dinner in the initiation, you're supposed to stick your dick in the pig's mouth. My God, what the fuck? It's like the Tories are so fucked up. The weirdest thing about the Tories and the establishment in the UK is stuff that we know that is factually correct, that isn't even particularly secret, then spawns all sorts of conspiracies. You know what's happening. Tinder, I believe you're right that Nigel Farage said something about a second Brexit referendum because he reckons that, oh, people are subverting the Brexit thing, so we should vote again to show people really, really want Brexit. Farage is such a fucking idiot. For instance, here's just a few random facts that are actually true. Margaret Thatcher was warned by her own intelligence agency that a prominent member of the Tory party was a serial child abuser, and her reaction was, rather than kicking him out, she actually put him in her ministry. MI6 said, this guy is bad news because he's a serial child abuser. He's susceptible to blackmail. He's a high risk, and he's just like, you know, he molests kids. He's bad. And Thatcher, with that advice, put this guy in her cabinet. So there's that. And then there's the notorious fucking serial abuser, Jimmy Savile. And this does not limit itself to one political group, but Jimmy Savile was protected by everyone in the establishment. The hierarchy at the BBC, the politicians who were both on the Tory side and the Labor side, basically everyone in the establishment protected Jimmy Savile. Now, here's the fun things if you don't know. Jimmy Savile was on TV all the time. These are the things that are known facts. Jimmy Savile was a serial rapist, abuser of underage people, and he paid a hospital, like he put charity money into a hospital so they would turn a blind eye while he fucked bodies in the morgue. Jimmy Savile liked to fuck dead bodies. This was a thing that people knew. Jimmy Savile was into fucking dead bodies. Here's the other thing. Jimmy Savile was a defender of Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper. Jimmy Savile said Peter Sutcliffe had been unfairly treated. And so those things I told you, that he was a serial rapist, he was an abuser of underage people, he fucked dead bodies. Those are facts. Those are known facts. Okay? Here's the thing. This is conjecture. But in light of everything else, it seems plausible. He was a defender of the Yorkshire Ripper, Peter Sutcliffe. He was known to be in physical proximity to areas when and where Peter Sutcliffe murdered some of his victims. It is actually possible Jimmy Savile helped Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, kidnap and murder people. It's possible the British establishment was protecting a fucking serial killer. Now that's conjecture. Everything else is a rapist, an abuser of underage kids, and he fucked dead bodies. Those are just facts. Those are things that are known to be true. His allegiance to the Yorkshire Ripper is known to be true. The fact that it's possible he was involved in serial killings, that's conjecture. but it's possible. James, it's true. Look it up. Jimmy Savile interviewed Peter Sutcliffe when Peter Sutcliffe was in prison. Jimmy Savile was a defender of Peter Sutcliffe. Jimmy Savile may have helped Peter Sutcliffe fucking kill people. That's how fucked up our world is. It's just great. And then you get all these crazy, crazy rumors that fuck knows, maybe they're true, about the royal family being part of sex dungeons with Tories, kidnapping kids and torturing them and murdering. That's all sort of crazy fringe stuff. But fuck, who knows? Maybe it's true. I don't know. But yeah, man, the world is so fucked up. I mean, this is why I do a lot of the stuff I do. Do rants and whatnot, just to get shit out of my system. And I like to think I help other people, like, because I'm reasonably eloquent. I can say things and express things in a rowdy way that's frowned upon from other people. And line I used to always use is, I get angry so you don't have to. Just vicariously experience the rage of my rants to sort of cleanse yourself of how fucked the world is. James, a member of Joy Division, was suspected of being the Ripper. I had not heard that. It's not true. The Ripper was Peter Sutcliffe. But that's interesting. I'd never heard that rumor. Tendai, the reset button on the experiment called the human race. Yes. Joy, see, that's what I do. It's catharsis. I'm a big believer in catharsis. I feel better if you ever see one of my videos where I go right fucking off. Like normally I go off a fair bit, but every now and then, once a week or two, I'll do what you'll notice. I'm going right off. I'm really fucking right off. I feel so much better after doing that. I hope people who watch it feel better. They get the catharsis of me doing the rage stuff, so they don't have to. Stop the Popagong. I didn't know. Is Gary Glitter out of jail? Living in council house under police guard? I don't know. That's it. I'll miss Foxification. Armchair Angries. I like that a lot. Okay, I am going to do a quick Google search. Is Gary Glitter still in jail? He's still in jail, dude. Just in 2015, he was jailed for 16 years. So while that's an interesting story about him being under police guard, he's still in jail. Toby, do I meditate? No, I don't. Oh, okay. The J-Dub Jehovah's Witness Bible study conductor said meditation lets demon takes over your thoughts. You should watch my videos on EFT and EMDR, because they probably think that would let demons in. That's what I do. I don't do meditation, but I do EFT and EMDR stuff. Stephen Morris was a suspect in Peter Hawke. Look, people may have said those names, but they're not actually the Yorkshire Ripper. The Yorkshire Ripper was Peter Sutcliffe, and Jimmy Savile may have helped him. Miss Foxification. See, meditation, it's like the same people use now is mindfulness. Meditation is really just about being aware, to be conscious of yourself and the world around you and what's happening. So it doesn't have to be this mysticalism, om. It's about being aware and being conscious. So yeah, Toby, I think you will find my videos if you just search on AngryAussie, on the AngryAussie channel. If you search EFT or EFT. Okay, Bacon Fan. I don't think you should try and do it yourself. You should find a practitioner, like a proper medical practitioner, a doctor, psychologist, counselor, psychiatrist. Mrs. Angry is a psychologist counselor, works for the health department, and she practices EFT and EMDR on me, and it's fucking amazing. Because she works in public health. In her area, there's a lot of refugees, people who've lived in war zones, and family members killed, tortured. Some of the people have been tortured themselves. It's incredible the difference these techniques can make, EMDR and EFTR. EFT. If you're having problems with anxiety, depression, PTSD, I thoroughly recommend finding a proper practitioner who does EFT or EMDR or both, and do it, because it's pretty fucking cool. There's a lot of loonies because there's a new agey edge to this stuff. Like EFT, emotional freedom techniques, also known as tapping. It's literally just, you do this thing, you tap on this part of your hand, you tap on acupressure points, and here's where you set things like, okay, even though I have a huge amount of anxiety about going to work and I feel like I can't cope and I'm not going to be able to get out of bed tomorrow, I accept myself anyway. And then you tap these points around, you tap here, saying, I feel a lot of emotional stress. I don't want to get out of bed. I'm really uptight. I have a lot of stress. I don't want to go out. Tap here, and tap here. You do cycle. It's weird. It doesn't seem to make any sense. It fucking works. Henry, hashtag change the day. Fucking on board with that, my friend. If we're going to have a national day that shits on the faces of our First Nation people makes no sense at all to me. So, yeah. Yeah, no, Bacon fan. It really is. It's a proper discipline. Like in Australia, there's been some university studies done on it, and Mrs. Angry has studied under this professor from Bond University in Queensland. He's done these studies. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, get a proper practitioner. Look, theoretically, you could find some videos on YouTube where people show this is how you do EFT, but do it with someone who leads you. And get a proper medical practitioner, whether it's a doctor, psychologist, counselor, psychiatrist, someone who has that as part of their practice, and its potential to change your life is fucking great. Misfoxification, what day would be good? Look, any arbitrary day. I mean, I always laugh when people say May 8. I like May 8 because it would be Mate Day. Could there be a better date for Australia's National Day than Mate? That would be Mate Day. I like Mate. May 8. But yeah. Emperor Seeger, I agree that most analysis shows that there's not necessarily a lot of grounding in acupuncture. But like I said, there's been university studies that show EFT and EMDR aren't a placebo effect. Like actual brain scans showing doing these things activates different parts of your brain. Hey, Henry. Thank you for thinking I'm a top bloke. I hope you also live long and prosper. And hey, ATV, how you doing? Oh yeah, Megaleech, Triple J are doing the hottest 100 on the 4th Saturday in January now, rather than on an arbitrary day, which does mean that occasionally it will be Australia Day. Oh, oh geez, we're getting it, just generally, because it's Australia Day at the end of this week, we're getting a fucking heat wave. It's getting hotter every day for the next couple of days until it's like fucking 40 degrees. Particularly the southern states are getting like a 3-day heat wave. Musical aviator. Queensland Labor Day is May 7th, 4-day weekend. Hell, in Victoria or Melbourne, we're now up to 2 public holidays tied to sporting events. We have a public holiday for the Melbourne Cup and a public holiday for the football grand final. So fuck, you know. How about those iguanas, Biore? The Triple J Hottest 100. James, I think you're right, because Australia Day is Friday this year and Saturday next year, and Triple J are doing the Hottest 100 on the 4th Saturday in January. I think next year the Hottest 100 will be on Australia Day. Won't be on the Australia Day holiday, which will be on the Monday. It'll be on Saturday. Yeah. I was talking about Bitcoin. A guy trying to buy $3 grand worth of gear, but giving the boss baby. Bitcoin's such a fucking scam, honestly. Mofo sign, yeah, there's an Australia Day. Most countries have a national day. No, Emperor Seagull, the Outback Steakhouse does not exist in Australia, and the stuff they serve in the Outback Steakhouse does not exist. The Bloomin' Onion, that is not nowhere in Australia serves that. No one in Australia serves the Bloomin' Onion. That's something they invented. So you do get steakhouses here. There's a famous chain called the Black Stump. The Black Stump, famous for our steak. There's a couple of steakhouse chains. Oh yeah, Bacon Fan. Yeah, definitely. Outback Steakhouse, fake as fuck. Definitely fake as fuck. I'll tell you, I mentioned Corey's Aussie playlist being kicked off Spotify. Corey, he's just such a fucking bigot. Corey Bernardi is a piece of shit. He's an Australian politician, a piece of shit. And because Triple J moved their hottest 100 from Australia Day, I'm going to have my own Australian music. And every musician he put on it said, get fucked. And Spotify said, oh, it's been brought to our attention that this whole thing is motivated by bigotry and particularly racial bigotry. So, no, fuck you. Charlie, that's it. Hog's Breath. I was trying to remember the pig one. Hog's Breath. Hog's Breath is the one. Toby, how does Lord Angry feel about communing with other gods? Look, all gods are equally real. So I'm cool with that. Gods are just a good story. Gods are good stories that different people have told at different periods in different cultures to explain things. So all gods are equally real. So I will happily sit at a table with all gods. Like Neil Gaiman is like my favorite writer. I initially got into him when he was writing a comic called The Sandman, but he's become a best-selling author in the last couple of decades. He did a retelling of Norse legends. The book is just called Norse Legends, and it's great. And I sort of retold some of that in a video recently, which a lot of people liked, and a lot of people said you should do more of this. I'm thinking I might. I think I might do like angry god stories. My telling of stories from major religions. The Norse ones are good. I might try. What are the great ones? The Norse myths, the Roman myths, the Greek myths, the Christian myths. Because Toby did send me a Quran, so I could read the Quran at some point and do a retelling of some stories from the Quran. There are basically religions have good stories. My personal opinion is that's all they are. They're just stories. Because people are looking at the world around them and going, how can I explain this? And they come up with a story. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just think in a rational world, we shouldn't take them as things. Tinto, who's the angriest god? Kratos. Possibly. You may be right there. Emperor Seagull, Australians, you think Australians might eat the same food as people in Scotland? Vegetarian and fried foods everywhere. What's popular? Australia's most recent contribution to cuisine, and it's a beautiful part of our multicultural society. I feel like Australia's people talked about avocado toast for a few years. That was a thing that Australian cafes did, and that sort of spread worldwide. Avo smash on toast. That had its day. I feel like Australia's most recent contribution to cuisine, which is part of our multicultural society, was the halal snack pack. And I particularly love how unhealthy it was. Now, if you like kebabs or if you've eaten kebab places tend to be, they're not exclusively run by Muslim people, but there's a tendency for kebabs to be Muslim food. And if it is, that means the meat is halal. So most kebab places are actually halal. And this invention that happened in Australia, the HSP, the halal snack pack. If you've never heard of it, it's layered and it's so spectacularly unhealthy. I love it so much. The best traditional HSP is chips, like potato chips, fries, whatever you want to call them, a layer of chips, a layer of cheese, then a layer of meats, like kebab meat. It can be doner kebab, lamb, chicken, or a combo. I like a combo, but it's chips, cheese, meat, and then sauces on top. And the holy trinity of sauces is garlic sauce, barbecue sauce, and chili sauce. I'm not really into chili, so I like sweet chili, which some people regard as a corruption of it. But yeah, so I know dim sim. That's a good one. Dim sim is another good one. It's an Asian food that has very much become Australian. It's a deep fried dumpling, and they can take the big ones like, oh man, the South Melbourne markets. The South Melbourne markets have these huge dim sims. Some dim sims are quite small; they're only about this big. But the South Melbourne markets are about this. Dim sims are about this big, and they taste really good. It's meat and veggies with a pastry case, and then deep fried. If you're a wuss, you steam your dim sims to make them vaguely healthy. But you know, a proper dim sim is deep fried. Yeah, Charlie, a Chico roll is basically a form of dim sim, quite honestly. Oh, but I'm a big fan of the halal snack pack. A nicely done halal snack pack, I fucking love so much because I love kebab meat, like lamb and chicken. Oh, I love getting the mix. Like it's like chips, cheese, lamb, chicken, sauces. It's fucking great. So unhealthy, but fucking great. I think that's a great way to finish, talking about gross, unhealthy, but yummy foods. And Australia's multiculturalism, we have kebabs, halal snack packs, dim sims. You know, I'm not hungry because it's really late. I'd like some chicken for dinner, chicken drumsticks, in a honey mustard sauce. Very, very sophisticated. But look, thank you all very much for joining me. Wait, Megaleech, a second layer of cheese? What talk is this? That's not traditional. I mean, I'd love a second layer of cheese. Oh, Bury, dim sim and dim sum are two different things, just out of interest. Dim sum, we call in Australia, what do we call it? Does Australia have KFC? Yes, we do. Lamingtons are cakes. But look, thank you very much for joining me. I had a very good time. I always do. You're wonderful people. I love spending time with you. I love the interaction. I'm actually really busting. I have to go to the loo. So this has been about 2 years. Yumcha, thank you, Bacon fan. My brain blanked out. What Americans call dim sum and some other people around the world call dim sum, we call yumcha. So thank you very much for joining me everywhere. Henry Dar, I did a whole video about Channel 7 giving Blair cultural platform. Not a fan. Very pissed off about it. Emperor Cigar, I'm also a horrible person, so that's good. Oh, poor Abigail. You're a veggie. You don't like talk of cheese and meat. I'm sorry. I could never be vegan. I could possibly be vegetarian, but I couldn't give up cheese. I could possibly give up meat, but I couldn't give up cheese and dairy. And I accept that makes me a bad person, actually. But thank you all for joining me. I'll try and do another video tomorrow, pre-recorded one. Try and do another live stream on Thursday. We'll see how that goes. I very much enjoy your company as always. I hope you have a good week, and I hope to see you again soon. But for now, I will say goodbye to all of you wonderful people. And yes, I'm going to the toilet, Bacon fan. Thank you. Bye all. And I think I should be gone